actually kind of feel more bad for Severy than I do for like the team itself. Like, because I think the
Yeah,
team's gonna be fine. Severino, he's just had so much bad luck with the shit. Like,
yeah,
didn't pitch at all last year until September, and then now he's gonna miss a year and a half. So it's like, it sucks.
yeah. It
But
does. It sucks for him, definitely. I mean, I think the team will be fine. So what are you going to win? You're going to win 98 games instead of 103? I mean, really? You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's it. People think you lose that ace, and it's like, oh, that's it. You're 15, 20 games. What? No, one pitcher is not worth that much. At
no,
most, you have an ace like a Cole or a Severino or like DeGrom or someone like that.
yeah,
Their replacement. That's what WAR is. Win is above replacement. If you can replace them with a Davy Garcia and he has a decent year, you're losing what, 3-4 wins? You're really losing. You know what I mean? It's not that bad.
and welcome back to another episode of Too Much Pod Tar. As you know, we got some bad news here for this episode. Get into that a little later, but I got Johnnie Black on again for another episode. He's obviously been a constant for the show, so good to have you again.
Good to be here, as usual. This is becoming a nightly thing. It's great.
Yeah, especially like during the off season, like spring training. It's good to have some like episodes pretty much every day, like to keep people like listening to it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
some of the best podcasts have episodes almost every day.
Yeah. Been better. Been consistent this year. Looking good.
Yeah. I remember last year we even had a point where we just didn't do an episode for like 2 months. Like after the All-Star break, we just stopped and then didn't have one until like before the postseason.
Yeah, that's what seems to happen. I mean, it happens with our articles too. I thought last year is that like once September rolled around, people got into like football mode, and then of course, half the teams are kind of out of it in baseball in September. So if you're a fan of a team like whatever the Mariners or something like that, like it's you kind of like, all right, time to switch over to the Seahawks. So kind of fell off a little last year. This year's going to be different though.
Yeah.
This year we've been good with the previews, just about every day, and everything. So, fantasy rankings, got to keep them pumping too. We did a bunch of them, but we still got shortstops, pitchers, and outfielders to do, which is going to be interesting. This is pretty deep.
Yeah. Been good so far.
Yeah, plus during the season, like, so all the stuff that, people have signed up for. We'll have DFS every day. Power rankings for the AL, power rankings for the NL every week. Month end reports basically for each division. And of course, we'll have deep dives and 2-start pitchers for fantasy stuff and things like that. So we got a lot of stuff planned.
Definitely. Oh yeah, that was another thing that that guy that was trolling said. He was like, stick to AL East projections. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay. And then I was like, stick to being a troll on Twitter or something like that. I was like, because you obviously can't. You're not going to write anything. And then I was like, you can. If you think you can do better than me, just go ahead and try to write something yourself. It's like.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I see people all the time complain about, you have to pay for a subscription for the Athletic and things like that. It's like, well, you got to understand that these people, like, spend years making contacts in the game. I mean, not that we're nearly their level. I know that. But I'm just saying, like, to pay for content like the Athletic, you're talking about people like Rosenthal, Jason Stark, like people who have made contacts in the game for the past 30 years and travel and interview people like coaches and players and stuff like that and spend time doing all this research and everything like that. I mean, what do you expect these people not to get paid at all? I mean, the whole Astros thing was broken by, what's his name, Evan Drellick. from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Athletic. So I mean, him doing all this research, talking to fires and like all this stuff, like and finding out like all the stuff that's going on. I mean, this is what journalists do.
Oh, yeah.
The Athletic it's a journalistic publication. Obviously we at the Scorecrow try to do semi the same thing. Like we do more analysis and stuff, not as much breaking news and stories. But, for something like the Athletic, they're kind of one of a kind in the baseball world. There's really no one else. I mean, ESPN is basically TMZ of the sports world now. You know what I mean? Like that's all they do, which I don't take it away from them. I mean, ESPN stands for the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Yeah. So it's entertainment and sports. So I get it. But, 10, 15, 20 years ago, even 40 years ago when they started, it was more about the sports itself. And now it's become, it's LeBron James every night, and it's, they pick certain players, and they've done that for a long time. Mm-hmm. They've always had a Yankees, Red Sox bias, East Coast bias, like things like that. Always the major markets, what's going to get the most viewers and stuff like that. And I understand it; it's a business too, but they've lost the fact that it's become a business. They've lost that journalistic edge, and they're not journalists. They're not a trusted source anymore, really. Yeah. For them, like the Athletic is.
And like with the Athletic, they have somebody for like every team, every major league team. So it's like they follow the team and they know everything about the team. Like so, it's like it's definitely something good to do to have somebody that can know up to the up to date things about the team itself. So
yeah, and we're going to try to do a little of that this year. I mean, I don't know, we don't have enough writers for it or enough resources, but I mean, as far as doing anything journalistic as far as the team goes, I mean, you start your internship for the was it the minor league? Which minor league affiliate is it?
It's Ray Riders, the Yankees AAA.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, you're going to see a lot of these kids playing before they hit the majors and stuff. You'll be able to give people a lot of insight on what's going on. I mean, I know Soupy does his work with the Yard Goats in Hartford, which is I believe the Rockies AA, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I can get some time this year to do some stuff around here too, because I also have I'm up in Massachusetts, and I also have the Cape Cod League here. I have the Pawtucket Red Sox, which are an hour away. Down in Rhode Island. I mean, things like that. So the Portland Sea Dogs up in Maine. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
We'll be better about we're getting there little by little. I mean, we haven't even been a site for 2 years. So, we're still toddlers at that point. But So what do you think of the Yankees now that Sevy's down till probably August of next year?
Yeah, so that's a good spot to go into that. So obviously people have heard about it. So, but just kind of to recap what happened today was announced. Well, Tuesday it was announced that Severino is going to need Tommy John surgery. He had tests. He had MRIs back a couple. He had one in January, and one in February, I believe. Yeah, he had, but then they didn't find anything. Oh no, one in December, one in January, and then they didn't find anything then. But then they sent him for further testing, and then they ended up finding a partial tear of his UCL. So now he needs Tommy John. So actually, speaking of my internship, I wrote my first article for the site that I'm doing for that, Pinstripe Prospects. So I wrote that on Severino and kind of some of the options that they have for in the minors. So I think the Yankees will be fine. They have a lot of good options down in the AAA. Some of the top prospects like Michael King and David Garcia. So I think they'll be okay. It's like Paxton comes back, like probably by May or June. So I think they can ride it out and still have, they still have, gonna have Cole obviously at the top. So, and they have a really good bullpen. So I think that's gonna be the key is that for the bullpen, and obviously their hitting too is gonna be. They're gonna, if they can stay healthy in the lineup is what's gonna carry them. So.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Definitely. I mean, I think if you want to take a bright spot out of all this, I mean, it's horrible because the Yankees are favorites, this year and everything like that, and losing Severino is rough. And then, Paxton down for probably like a month or so. But the one positive out of this thing, if you want to call it that, is that they get to see what they have in Michael King, another season of Davy Garcia. See if Monty's back fully from because he had Tommy John. What was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So Loizaga, you get to see some of these guys at a more extended role, more important role. If someone locks up a fourth or fifth spot in a rotation, or has some, maybe breaks out and has a regular spot for the first like 5-10 starts of the season, you get to see these guys perform at a major league level. Whereas maybe you wouldn't have, because next year, don't forget at the end of the year, Tanaka and Paxton are both free agents.
Yeah.
So at least, and knowing that you won't have Severino next year, probably till August, September, I'm guessing. I mean, he's still only, 24, 25 years old. I mean, they're not going to rush this kid back. And it takes usually a season or so for a pitcher to get back to what they were, completely from Tommy John. So, I mean, going into next year, at least the Yankees can evaluate on a major league level what they have in the minor leagues coming up for next season. And maybe that tells them a little bit. All right, we can spend this much on Paxton or Tanaka. Or do we really need both of them? Do we want to just hang on to Tanaka and let Paxton go? Like whatever it may be. But at least it gives them a little better feel of what they have and what they can spend on, and how urgent it is to bring back like one or both of those starters, or even go out in free agency and sign another starter. Because if you have Davy Garcia and Michael King shows out well this year, maybe you don't need to spend the money. Maybe you're good. Maybe you bring Tanaka back on a 1 or 2 year deal, and you have Cole, and you're fine with Garcia and King. And, you could piece together the fifth. Maybe you use an opener with the depth of the bullpen and stuff like that. Just saying it gives them options and it gives them a little more in-depth look of what they actually have at the major league level going into next season. Right. I think they'll be fine this year.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And then
they didn't have Severino last year.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, for 3 starts in September, but, whatever. And they signed Cole.
Yeah. I think, like, looking at Yankees Twitter and stuff when this news came out, everybody's, like, just overreacting to it. And, like, oh, my God, the season's over. Maybe not season's over, but, like, kind of saying, like, oh, my God, are you serious? Well, I mean, obviously it's not good news, but right. I actually kind of feel more bad for Severy than I do for, like, the team itself. Like, because I think the team's going to be fine. Severino, he's just had so much bad luck with the shit. Like, didn't pitch at all last year until September, and then now he's going to miss a year and a half. So it's like, it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It sucks for him, definitely. I mean, I think the team will be fine. So what are you going to win? You're going to win 98 games instead of 103? I mean, really? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's people think you lose that ace, and it's like, oh, that's it. You're 15, 20 games. What? No. One pitcher is not worth that much. At most, you have an ace like a Cole or a Severino or like DeGrom or someone like that. Yeah. Their replacement, that's what WAR is. Win is above replacement. If you can replace them with a Davy Garcia and he has a decent year, you're losing what, 3-4 wins? You're really losing. It's not that bad. Plus, too, because the Yankees, honestly, even without Severino, like I said, they signed Cole, who they didn't have last year. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that. Like you said, it's worse for Severino. I feel bad for the kid because he's battled injury. He had one great year, and then he's been hurt. And it's rough. But I think the Yankees will be fine. I still think they win the division. I don't think.
I mean, Domingo Herman is also another guy that he's going to end up coming back in June from a suspension. So,
right.
So once he comes back, he could just slot into the rotation. It'll probably be slow with him making his way back. They probably won't rush him into like major innings or anything. But after not being, obviously not starting the season off. But,
right. And you still have Hap.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about him. He's not that bad.
No. I think he's going to have a pretty good season this year, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's fine as like a number 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a piece it together with Montgomery, Garcia, or one of those guys, and you have Hap as your number 4, Monty and Garcia, along with Tanaka and Cole. I think it'll be fun. And once Paxton comes back, then you decide on that.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. Because honestly, you're heading into the All-Star break. You have Cole, Paxton, and Tanaka as your top 3. That's better than 95% of the league.
Yeah.
Especially the American League. You know what I mean? Like the American League, it's the haves and have-nots. I mean, the National League is wide open, but the American League is, Yankees are one of the best lineups in the league. Arguably the best bullpen in the league. So you still have Cole and Tanaka, even for the first month and a half or whatever until Paxton comes back. I mean, so you're fine. Fine.
Yeah. There was a Red Sox fan that tweeted out Yankees rotation 1 Cole, 2 Hap, which I don't know what Hap is the 2, and then 3 Tanaka, 4 TBD, 5 TBD. Montgomery, Loaiziga, King, yikes. And it's like, look at the Red Sox rotation. Red Sox rotation is like, what is it? Freaking
Sale, Rodriguez,
Evaldi, and then what's his name?
Perez. Martin Perez.
Yeah, Martin. And then they have another 5th guy is like unknown. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think you put question marks there. But I mean,
yeah. But like, why is this guy trying to say Yankees rotation is like he's trying to say, oh yikes, but like look at your own rotation. You have Sale, that's it, pretty much.
Yeah, just Sale. And Sale when he's healthy is as good as anyone in the league. I mean, there's no arguing that. But then I like Eduardo Rodriguez, actually. I like him a lot. And I think he figured some things out last year, like second half. He's not walking as many guys. He's finally maturing and trusting his command. And I think Eduardo Rodriguez is actually going to have a really good year this year. But after that, you don't have innings guys like Price and Porcello anymore. Eovaldi, what is he? I think he's better in relief.
Yeah,
we'll see how Martin Perez is garbage.
Yeah.
I can tell you, as a fan, he started off the season last year like a house on fire. He was awesome. And then people were talking about his cutter. He changed his cutter. He's using his slider more, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, the second half, he had like a 5-point-something ERA. Yeah, back to reality, buddy. So I don't know what they think they're getting in Martin Perez. Wow. I guess an inning because he does throw like 170 a year. So, I mean, okay, that's fine. But other than that, they got nothing in the minors as far as the pitch goes.
Yeah, it's like this guy's like saying about the Yankees, but the Yankees have a lot more in the minor leagues than the Red Sox do.
Oh, yeah. A lot more depth, especially with pitching.
Definitely.
And the Yankees have a better bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
So
not even close, really.
No. I mean, the Red Sox still have a solid lineup. I'm not going to take that away. And they did win, I think, 84 games last year?
Yeah.
I packed for around the same this year. It wouldn't just surprise me. Even losing Betts and Price and Porcello, I think the Red Sox are still a 500 team. I still think they can beat up on the rest of the American League, barring like aside from the good teams. You know what I mean? Because there are so many bad teams in the American League. If the Red Sox, they should win. They can still win 80 to 85 games.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I could still see them, like I said, finishing around where they were last year, 80-something wins. Wouldn't surprise me, but I still think they finished third in the American League.
Yeah, I can see that, and I mean, it honestly wouldn't surprise me though if they end up like finishing below 500, and then even the Jays coming up and being ahead of them, like 76 wins or something.
I had to, because I did the preview for the Jays. I had them at 75 wins, but I said their ceiling is probably around 500, like 81 wins. If any of their pitching shows up, because that's their problem. They have no pitching. I mean, Ryu's there. You know what it is? Ryu is coming over from the Dodgers, going to Toronto. So you're going from the NL West, going to the AL East with those ballparks. Now, granted, Ryu's a finesse pitcher, and he does keep the ball on the ground. So that could help him, and that's fine. But I can't imagine him putting up the same type of stats as last year. Then they have Tanner Roark, who's basically the same thing. I mean, he pitched a little in Oakland, but he's been a National League pitcher his whole career. Other than that, so he comes to the AL East. And then their third starter is Matt Schumacher. He's made 12 starts in the past 2 years. So is he healthy? What happens with him? After that, I mean, you got Chase Anderson, Trent Thornton, Jacob Wagsback. Like, I mean, he's just like a bunch. The guy they got from Japan, Sumi Yamamoto, I think Shun Yamamoto. I mean, they have some interesting guys in the minors. Yeah. They got two of the guys I put them in the article, the players to watch, is Nate Pearson, who the dude is just, he throws gas. I mean, they've had him in the minors hitting 104 on a gun. Like he throws hard. But they still don't know if he's going to be able to maintain it as a starter. The kid I like is the kid they got in the Stroman deal is Anthony Kay, lefty. Because he's a like Ryu. He's kind of more of a finesse pitcher. Throws about 93, 94, but he's someone that came up for a cup of coffee last year. He made like a couple of starts, like just a, whatever. But his I believe his first start last year, struck out 8 and 5 2/3 against the Rays last year in his debut. So I mean, he's shown excellent command, and he's got like 4 pitches. Smart pitcher. I could see him up this year and actually doing fairly well. But other than that, I mean, you have to count on advancements from Guerrero, from Bichette, from Biggio. What are you getting from Grichuk, Rowdy Tellez, Travis Shaw? Like, what? You don't know what these guys are really. I mean, we know what Grichuk is. He could hit 30 home runs, but he's also going to strike out 200 times and bat 220. Teoscar Hernandez, same thing. Like, I think they're going to score a lot of runs because I think their hitting is going to step forward, but I don't trust that rotation at all. I mean, if Ryu coming from the National League flop completely in the AL East and Matt Schumacher can't stay healthy, well, you're screwed. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got. So I don't see Toronto hitting better than 500. And like I said, that's their ceiling.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the Red Sox, I think they can be 500, maybe a little below is their floor. I still think they can win possibly 85 games. I just think they're a player or two ahead of Toronto. I think Toronto's another year out, and they need a couple of starters.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be scary in a few years. Like, if they get the pitching, they're going to be scary, really scary.
Well, there's a ton of pitching in their minor leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Toronto, when I was looking at their minor league system, I think out of their top like 20 prospects in their minor league system, I think like 14 of them are pitchers. Like they're stacked pitching.
Yeah.
Because they brought up all their positional guys now. Bichette's up, Biggio's up, Guerrero's up. Like all these guys are up now. So it brings up everybody else. And I if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 14 out of the top 20 are pitchers. So, if you hit on a couple, that's all you need. Hit on 2 starters, and 2 of the other starters come really reliable bullpen arms, you're good to go.
Yeah, definitely.
With that lineup, got to remember how many years of control they have on all these guys, too. Because Bichette and Biggio and Guerrero, that's going to be the infield for the next 5 years. Easy. So these guys are all going to play together. They're all going to grow together. They're, so it could be coming up. I wanted to mention, too, as much as I hate seeing an injury, this does help the Twins. I don't like to see anyone get hurt like that, though. That's, I want to preface this by saying that because I hate seeing someone like someone young like Sevy and stuff like that going down with a Tommy John. It sucks, But in the overall scheme of things, the Twins are helped by that because we tend to face you guys every single frigging year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, so hopefully we can get over the hump this year.
Yeah, I guess not really any other news that dropped. That was basically the news of Tuesday.
Yeah. What else going on?
Yeah, nothing really else except for some spring training games. The Astros getting beamed again.
Yeah.
A couple guys got hit today in the game.
Yeah. Well,
and then people obviously like saying shit to Altuve. There was this video he was signing autographs for some kids, and then somebody was like, "Where's the tattoo, Altuve? Where's the tattoo?"
Oh boy, they're gonna get it all year long, man.
Yeah.
All year long. It's gonna get to them. They're not making the playoffs. I'm telling you.
Wow.
It's gonna get to them. It's a long season as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, like I said before, maybe they prove me wrong and they feed off the hate. And they're just like, you know what? Screw you guys. We're going to prove we can do it clean then without cheating or, I just don't see it. I just see their reactions to everything, like in the offseason and Correa, especially going off and stuff like that. I just see these are kids, man. They're not, they haven't handled this the right way. So that tells me they're not going to handle the pressure the right way. So, I don't know. We'll see, though.
Yeah. It was funny. I was listening to, forget the name. There was another podcast I was listening to that they were saying about Correa, like, going off on Bellinger, saying that he should shut the fuck up. Like, it was like if Correa, like, if they got into, like, if the Dodgers actually played the Astros and they got into, like, a brawl, like, Bellinger would beat the shit out of Correa. Like, he would have nothing on him. And I was cracking up hearing that, listening to that. Like, yeah, I don't think Correa can do anything against him.
Oh, you got to know that they go straight for each other. That would be for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They would go, like, because, with the brawls, everyone runs out. Bellinger and Correa would be, like, looking for each other, running out of the dugout.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Bellinger would be like, you told me to shut the fuck up? No.
Yeah, right? Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Go
Astros play the Dodgers this year, though.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
This is a rematch of the World Series again somehow.
Yeah. Manfred's like, whew, good thing we didn't schedule that one. He wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be some brawls, though. Like with other teams. Like the Angels, maybe. A's. Especially with Fires over in Oakland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. This is going to, yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, screw the Astros.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't believe they were taking away the freaking signs. Like the fans had signs that said like asterisks or whatever, and they were taking them away. So it was like, what the now the Astros are back at it stealing signs.
Yep. Stealing signs again. Yep.
Like, come on.
Yeah. You know, it's spring training, dude. Like, I don't know. They just, like I said, the Astros organization, not only did they do this as an organization and cheat, but the way they've handled this whole thing is, it's been a disaster, man. It's just been a disaster.
PR nightmare.
They really can't handle this. It's like, oh, man. It's like, if anything, too, you know, if I'm Jim Crane, of all people, you know, got off scot-free, he lucked out in that. You know, maybe he didn't know anything because he seems like kind of an idiot. So maybe he didn't know what was going on in his organization. But, you know, after this whole debacle of the press conference, wouldn't you tell your players just like, don't talk about this? Like, wouldn't you send down something that says like, I don't want anyone talking about this. Do not engage like Correa with Bellinger. Do not answer any kind of friggin' tweets, any kind of press conference. You know, but no. Like, these guys are free to, like, Correa's free to, like, come back to Bellinger and be like, shut the fuck up and blah, blah, blah. Like, what kind of organization are you running? Was it high school? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think they just accepted the position of, like, bad guys at this point. Like, they just, like, all right, we're the bad guys. We'll just accept it now. We don't care. We got away with it. Nothing happened to the World Series. We're just like, go on and live life.
Yeah, and you know what? That just brought a thought to my head. You know what? Manfred loves this. You know why?
Yeah.
Because everywhere the Astros go, even on the road, they're going to sell out. Because people are going to want to show up and boo them and bang trash cans and stuff like that.
Oh my God! Yeah, even in Detroit, that's going to be like the most fans they bring when they play the Astros.
Oh, you're talking about the 2020 World Series champ, Detroit Tigers?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's all about the money. People talk about Manfred not marketing the game. Well, here you go. Here's his chance to market the game. He levies a light penalty to Houston for cheating out of the World Series.
Yeah.
And now he's doing all this stuff, like, you know, knows that they're gonna like go around, and he turns a blind eye to like all this talk about it. Because he didn't he say, I believe the Dodgers talked about it, and didn't he say that there shouldn't be any organizations talking about the cheating scandal?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but the players can, right?
Yeah.
So he's all into the marketing. He doesn't want the organizations to be hurt. But he has no problem with the players putting themselves out there to market their own game.
Yeah.
Manfred's not as stupid as we think he is. No such thing as bad publicity.
No. Well, speaking of the marketing though, there's been they've been making some good videos, like the spring training, like the mic'd up players and stuff like that. So they've been doing pretty good at that. Like, that was part of the problem, is that they're not doing enough of that. But I think this year they're trying to do that more. Because even like the Braves had a video on YouTube that was like kind of like Hard Knocks for football.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had them like spring training inside the Braves spring training. And then they had like a couple interviews with players and stuff. And
nice. Yeah, I see that one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's right on the Braves YouTube channel. So I think the Red Sox did one too. So
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to be doing. They're behind the times, but hey, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is what they need to do. You need to market this stuff. But they need what it is. Like, I understand, like I said about Manfred, getting all this free publicity from the Astros scandal because they're going to go on the road and sell out, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But this is not the kind, you can't depend on that year in and year out, scandals, because then people will just turn the sport off.
Yeah.
So you need to counteract that with a more positive marketing campaign type thing. Like you said about the spring training stuff, getting people actually excited for the season, not just excited going out and booing the Astros. But see how it goes.
Yeah. It's gonna be a crazy season though.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. I'm interested to see what happens, and I'm interested to see what happens in the National League more than anything. Even though I'm an L guy, but like I said, the AL kind of the haves and have-nots, and I don't think much is going to change as far as say the top 7 teams in the AL. 5 of them will make the playoffs. I think it's between those teams. Whereas the National League, I think there's only really like 2 or 3 teams that aren't in it, and everyone else is in a fight. So that'll be interesting to see, like, some of the battles in the NL, especially the NL East. Because last year was great. You have so many great pitchers in the NL East. With DeGrom, Scherzer. I mean, even the other guys like Strasburg, Corbin, Wheeler. He stayed in the NL East. He just went to Philly. Syndergaard. A lot of great pitchers in the NL East. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
How that looks. I want to see like a 5-team tie for like the wild card in the NL. That's what I want to see.
Let's give us that 8-team tie.
I just want to see something crazy happen. Yeah. I want to see like the Phillies, Braves, Mets, Nationals, Cubs, Brewers, Cardinals, Reds, Diamondbacks, and Padres. 10 teams. I want to see them all tied for the same record. And 2 of those are for the division winner. I want to see how the hell they handle this.
I don't know.
Because honestly, if things play out right, I could see it happening. Yeah. Because I honestly think all those teams are good enough to make the playoffs. I honestly think all those teams are flawed. So it depends on how things play out. Mm-hmm. But I could see all 10 of those teams winning like 88 games.
Yeah.
And all just finishing the same record. I don't know what they would do. I don't know what Major League Baseball would do.
Just have a ping pong tournament.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they should do a decathlon.
Yeah, decathlon. Let's do I don't know if you saw, like, in the group chat, I was like, instead of doing like all these track events, do like different type of events, like do like ping pong, do like play each other in video games and play each other in like whatever, all these different things. One-on-one basketball.
Yeah, chess. I mean, yeah, you could do stuff like that, definitely.
Yeah.
Make it a pentathlon. Make it 5 events. Doesn't even have to be 10.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
But just do one-on-one basketball. That could be something for a whole other episode. Yeah. Like if you had to pick a one-on-one basketball player
from each
who would you put up in your team? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would do. Well, you got to go with like Judge for the Yankees. But I mean, if you go, like, I'm just picking a random team, but I mean my team, but so.
Yeah.
Mets. If it was like Mets, I would probably go. I don't know. Maybe Alonso. So I'm just going with like somebody that's tall, I guess. I don't
I'll
know.
go Syndergaard.
Syndergaard? Okay.
Syndergaard seems a little more athletic to me.
Yeah.
Then again, you might go a shorter guy. You might go someone like McNeil, maybe who's
Yeah.
like, or Rosario. You know, do you want to go the big guy, or do you want to go the shooter, like the guy with moves and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, Judge was actually a basketball player in high school, and he was a beast. I saw a clip of it the other day.
Yeah,
He was great. He was really good.
I think Amir Garrett from the Reds was a basketball player too
Oh yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think
that's another thing you can do is like look at guys that played like
yeah,
in high school, whatever. We should just do like a cross sport thing where we just like pick guys from the different sports like who would be the best at another sport.
yeah.
They go like LeBron would be good at football or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see LeBron as like a tight end. He'd be like a Gronk type.
Yeah. That'd be fun to do, like just like it'd be like the Olympics, but like everybody switches sports.
Yeah.
It does a different sport than they actually do.
That would be interesting. Or build a team, like build a football team, like a starting squad out of baseball players, or a starting five out of, like in basketball, a starting five out of baseball players.
Yeah.
Like, who would you have as your guard? Who would you have as your forwards? You know what I mean? Like stuff like, or like who would be your quarterback, your offensive lineman? Like you guys, like stuff like that too. To do it that way.
Yeah. Luke Boyd is definitely a guard, or maybe he'd be the center.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Judge would be a tight end. I could see him being a tight end.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. Who would be the quarterback?
Quarterback. I don't know.
Maybe,
I'd have Trout linebacker.
oh yeah, that he's definitely
Size,
linebacker.
like I mean, he's linebacker size, and with his speed and everything, like, and I could see him being a linebacker. He strikes me as like a Brian Urlacher, like that type of middle linebacker type guy.
Yeah. I think pitcher. I mean, I think quarterback. Maybe you go with somebody like a catcher, because catchers are like the quarterback of the infield, basically.
True.
So maybe like Sanchez would be the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, speed guys like on the outside. Someone who can run.
Yeah.
Tall enough, like wide receiver, Yeah, be something interesting.
Yeah. That's another series, another podcast series to do.
Yeah.
You can just like branch off from this podcast, like make a new show of all that shit.
Yeah. Just do a what if podcast.
What if baseball players played football? What if football players played basketball or whatever?
Yeah. Or you can even do just like other what ifs too. Like, what if this never happened? Or what if this happened? You know what I mean? Just talk about like, what if Babe Ruth stayed with the Red Sox?
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
I'll go back into history and be like, all right, well, if he was on the Red Sox, then would the Yankees have dominated the 20s and 30s? Like,
Yeah. What if Mike Trout was drafted by the Yankees?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of what ifs in sports in general.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, What if this guy never got hurt? Or
Right.
what if this guy never hit that home run? Or what if this guy never hit that shot? Or what if this,
Or what if this guy wasn't traded from this team?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did that one article last year about the Diamondbacks. It was like, what if the what if Diamondbacks edition? It was like they once had Scherzer, they had Bauer, they had all these guys that are now like really good.
Yeah.
It was like, what if they never traded Scherzer?
I'd like to do what if there was never a strike in '94.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because you have a lot there. Tony Gwynn was hitting 394. Would he have hit 400? Matt Williams had 43 home runs in 112 games. Would he have broken Maris's record in '94? The Montreal Expos were in first place.
Mm-hmm.
Would they have actually won the World Series? You know what I mean? Like, '94 was a lot. There was a lot of stuff going on that year in the strike year. When they ended the season, they only played 112 games.
Yeah.
There could have been a lot there. I mean, when you think about that season, the Montreal Expos were in first place. Matt Williams could have broken Maris's record, and Tony Gwynn could have hit 400. Could you imagine all that in one baseball season?
Oh my.
I mean, that's insane. That's a lot. And if that did happen, what happens with McGuire and Sosa in '98?
All right. And
then, in turn, with Bonds. Like, there's that butterfly effect. When you start getting into stuff like that, it'll take some research to do like a really in-depth thing, like on a certain season or a certain shot or whatever it may be. But I mean, you can look into the possibilities of it. You can go down that rabbit hole of like one event, or one season or whatever, and it could be interesting.
Yeah. Another more recent one. What if the Astros never cheated?
Yeah.
Maybe the Yankees would have went to the World Series. They would have beat the Dodgers.
What if there was everything in 1990? What if it was implemented earlier?
Oh yeah.
Bonds gets suspended. Clemens, McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro, Ortiz, A-Rod, Giambi, Pettit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if all these guys were actually tested and either got suspended or didn't do steroids because it was being tested?
No.
Then, you know what I mean? Like, how does this change the course of all this history? There's a lot you could do with that.
Yeah.
A lot of hypothetical, because you can pretty much make it your own, because it's a hypothetical. No one knows if it would have happened or not. So it's not something that someone would look at the article and be like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." Well, it's hypothetical. You never know what would have happened anyway.
Well, they still might do that anyway. Be like, that would never happen. Blah, blah, like,
well, of course. But hey, you know what? That's even better. Conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that would never happen. Oh yeah, well, it would, or it might, or whatever. I mean, that's even better, having the interaction like that.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll never know. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that what if series. I like that.
Well, that's that.
Yeah.
Nothing else going on, really. I don't know.
No, that's pretty much it.
It's quiet.
Quiet so far.
Yeah. Or what's today?
It's still February.
It's almost, well, the day that this comes out, it's a month away from opening day. It's February 26th. So
a month from tomorrow. A 24-hour show.
Yeah. That's going to be cool.
Well, I'm off the whole week. I took off of work the 18th to the 26th.
Yeah.
So I will be preparing myself, and we'll be running through like tests, because I want to run through some tests with Joey too, with the second deck DFS stuff for the season.
Yeah.
So I want to try to run through some things and make sure we have it all down, how we can record and all this stuff, whether it's YouTube, Facebook. I don't know like how we're going to do all this, but I want to have everything prepared
All right.
for that day. Because I'm also going to want to do a DFS show with Joey that day. So I might have to battle out. Obviously, you could take a break and we're not going to have the same people on for the whole 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, that could be.
I have to mix and match. So
That could be like.
I want to see who wants to sign up for it for a certain block of time, stuff like that. But I think as a group, if we can do a 24-hour podcast,
Yeah.
I think it'd be fucking awesome. I really do.
Yeah, we should put like that in the spreadsheet or whatever. Put in like a sign-up sheet for like certain blocks for 24 hours.
Yeah. I'm going to get with Joey and see what I can do. I'm actually off tomorrow. I have so much shit to do tomorrow. See, this is a problem. It sucks because like the days I'm off, I always have stuff to do. I got to go out and run some errands tomorrow. I got a new coffee pot. My coffee pot broke. I got to get that. I got to get like printer ink for my printer. I have to do an application for another job, and like just a bunch of answer emails, people that want to write for us, like all this stuff. And plus I have to write the Angels preview. Plus I have to do the Saints pre-mock draft. Plus edit whatever's there. Like, there's always like stuff to do. That's why I can't wait to have these days off. 9 days in a row, leading up to baseball season. And it works out perfectly, too, because March 18th, my first day off, is that Wednesday, is my daughter's birthday. And then March 19th, the following day, is my wife's birthday. So it works out perfectly. Started then. My last day off will be opening day of baseball. Sweet.
Yeah.
But I want to have a lot of stuff. I want to have a lot of stuff set, obviously. This way we can kind of just roll with it once baseball season starts.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well,
yep.
I guess that'll do it for this show, though, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's that. The Severino stuff we talked about. So a lot of obviously the Astros are a constant throughout this offseason, and obviously throughout the whole season it's going to be a constant. So we're probably going to be talking about that a lot on this podcast, about kind of what happens during the season, like any brawls that happen, hit by pitches, all this shit. But then, so no matter what happens in the season, it's probably going to be the one constant. And what's going on with the Astros and all that. So. Yeah, that's another episode, and 30 teams and 30 pods is going to be continuing. So we got 6 episodes left to do for that series. So that'll be coming out soon, right before opening day. They'll all be out before that, and then as we talked about, 24-hour episode for like leading up to opening day, starting on like whatever. Late at night, the night before. Probably hoping around like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. Eastern time, and then go until the next night at the same time. So definitely looking forward to that. The season's going to be coming soon, a month away now. So definitely exciting. Just a reminder, you can never have too much pod tar.